Welcome to Focus on Suppliers, presented by 8th and Walton, the premier destination for supplier development and sponsored in part by Dun & Bradstreet, the leading provider of credit and credibility solutions for businesses. I'm Neile Jones, your host of Focus on Suppliers. We're honored to have Alex Hurd of Walmart on the show to talk about America's biggest health fair. Today's focus, the food category. We're going to look at trends affecting that category, insights on food safety and compliance, and a special interview with the pioneer woman. But first, your Millennial Minute with Saatchi and Saatchi X.
Your millennial fun fact for the week is that 39% of millennials are making their grocery purchases primarily online. What's great about our millennials is that 65% of them are willing to actually go in store and experiment and engage in food classes, engage in cooking tips or tricks. So if you think about where they're spending their time, which is clearly online, we've got to make sure that we're emotionally connecting with them in a way that's going to be relevant to how they're engaging with food. Give them a tip, a trick, a piece of content that's going to make them look smarter among their millennial peers. We can do this in a number of different ways. Domino's has done a great job by giving them the online ordering option using emoticons in order to make their purchase. We can also find other ways to bring unique recipes either into the in-store environment or online as a way to engage them a little bit differently. We'll see you next time for the Millennial Minute.
We are so excited to have joining us today Alex Hurd, who is joining us from Walmart. You're actually the Senior Director over Health and Wellness. Thank you so much for your time. You guys have a very special event coming up we want to share with folks at home.
Neile, thank you very much for inviting us. You're absolutely right. So we're here to talk about America's biggest health fair on October 10th from noon to 4 in essentially all of our stores across the countries. We are going to have nurses come in to the stores and do health screenings. Our pharmacists are going to do immunizations. In stores where we have vision centers, we're going to do vision screenings. And some of our biggest suppliers are supporting this initiative with healthy product demonstrations. It's going to be the biggest day in health.
It's a big deal. Take 10 on 10-10 is what you guys are telling folks because it only take about 10 minutes. And talk to me about why you're doing this, the precursors, why they're so important for people to know and what you guys expect as an end result.
Neile, customers are busy. And so that's why we wanted to provide easy access and free access to two critical screenings, blood pressure and glucose. You know, in prevention and wellness, you can't do anything unless you know your numbers. You can't take action. And so that's why we are saying take 10 minutes on 10-10. Small amount of time, big potential difference in your life.
It could give you more time in your life if you take this time. Now, you also said you expect to see a certain number of folks learn that they may have an indicator.
So we're predicting about 300,000 screenings the day of the event. But you know what's really cool is that based on population health models, we are looking at potentially 3,000 individuals that may learn that they may be diabetic, and 7,000 individuals that will learn that they have high blood pressure.
And this could be a beginning for them to better medical care down the road and a better life. You guys are so excited about this. You're actually doing it a second time.
We're also heavily planning for a mid-January event because, again, we want to help our customers and their families start the year fresh and healthy and then try to help them stay that way all year long.
Alex, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate it. Folks, remember, 10-10, take 10 minutes. It could save your life down the road. Thank you for this.
Thank you, Neile.
We can't talk about food without touching on safety. It's a very important issue that we're seeing with all of our vendors as well as with our retailers. So with us today, Mike Bentel, we thank you so much for being here. You are the Vice President of Food Safety and Social Responsibility for J&J Family of Farms.
Yes, I am. Thanks for having me here today.
Thank you for coming. Let's just jump right in and talk about labeling.
Labeling is a very complex subject. It causes a consumer to perhaps expose themselves to allergens if it's not right. It also has some weights and measures issues associated with it also. If you follow the news, there's been some retailers that have failed on this subject, And it's usually associated with the retailer, not the company that actually produced the product that the retailer's having trouble with.
Wow, so you really have to keep this in mind and
Absolutely.
double check.
Yep. One of the best ways to do that, though, is by having a fortified or a well-fortified food safety program that it really kind of offers the discipline that you need around something like labeling. Walmart's actually produced 3 different documents that helps people understand some of these food safety requirements. The very first one is food safety requirements for processors, and then there's another document that's called the food requirements for produce suppliers, and another one for pet supplies and pet food. Sounds kind of funny, but pet food is a pretty big food safety issue because the animal lives in a household with people, and that can make the household members sick too.
And what do people need to know about that so that they're in check?
Well, one of the best things to do is to be proactive on this subject. You really want to make sure that you're driving the subject of food safety, not necessarily your customer. At J&J, we've taken a very aggressive approach on this subject in order to make sure that we're not only meeting but exceeding our customers' expectations by virtue of being very risk-orientated opposed to just compliance-orientated.
So if we will all follow the standards set in place, which you were saying Walmart has a set of standards that are very
Absolutely.
easy for people to follow and it can keep everyone safer.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much for being with us today.
You're welcome.
Mike Bentel. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Henry Ho. I'm with Field Agent, and I'm here today with Renee Brandon, the Vice President of Research for Field Agent. Good to have you, Renee.
Thank you.
Renee, we're going to frame up this conversation today and talk a little bit about online grocery ordering and pickup. Lots of retailers have been investing and experimenting in this space. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, we know online retailing has revolutionized a lot of categories, the way people shop and purchase, but food and groceries have lagged behind, and there are some significant barriers, both for the retailers and for the shoppers.
I know Field Agent has recently gathered some insights in this area. Tell us a little more about those barriers.
Well, we did a survey with 500 grocery shoppers, and we found out that there's 2 major barriers and a lot of other smaller ones. The biggest barriers are the need to touch and feel and smell the food, which is really important for fresh meat, fresh produce. And the second big barrier is how to easily access discounts, promotions, coupons, and so forth. The way that people prepare their shopping trip for groceries is very different in the online space.
I know as part of that study, Renee, that we focused on Walmart's grocery pickup operations. Tell us, how are they doing?
Well, among the people who've tried it, they were very satisfied, and nearly 2/3 are saying that they would definitely or probably recommend it to someone else.
That's good news for Walmart. Now, what are the implications to Walmart's suppliers in light of this?
Well, we know that online shopping is, of course, here to stay, and it is going to spread into the grocery area. Millennials are going to lead the way, and it's a matter of overcoming some of these barriers.
Thanks, Renee. If you would like to know more about what's going on in the online grocery space, contact us. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do.
The CPG Toolbox Trade Planner. Trade promotion management in the cloud. For 1/10 the cost of on-premise TPM software, this cloud-based tool provides a full-function, closed-loop trade promotion management solution. You can even manage your food service or institutional contract and rebate funds in the cloud. Take a moment to view the CPG Toolbox Trade Planner demo. See for yourself how it can improve your trade promotion ROI and your bottom line.
Bentonville Commerce, less than 1 mile from the Walmart home office. You'll love the convenience, amenities, and customized options Bentonville Commerce offers. For more information or a tour, call 479-200-1112 today.
The training bundle gets suppliers up to speed fast. You immediately pick up the knowledge you need and you save $750 or more over classes bought one at a time. Each training bundle includes 3 retail link classes, beginning, intermediate, and advanced, 4 electives such as planning and forecasting, Monday morning reports, and business line review, and 6 hours of one-on-one tutoring with an expert. Call 8th and Walton today to learn more about the training bundle, 479-715-6700, and ask for Amanda. Limited time offer.
With us today is Todd Hanus from Mondelez International. Thank you so much for joining us to talk about the category of food and one of the things we've spoken about, the latest trends that you're seeing.
Okay, sure. Mondelez International is a global snacking powerhouse, and one of the things we're trying to do across the globe is to bring those snacking moments to everybody. As you can imagine, snacking trends have changed. During the day, you used to have 3 solid meals, and then all of a sudden you started to snack between meals or skip meals. And that's where Mondelez International kind of comes in with the different products that they have to kind of satisfy those new trends that we're seeing out in the marketplace, whether it be meal skippers or you're on the go, all fun things like that. You can feel it because things have changed as time has progressed in terms of snacking.
And one way that you can really see that is in the packaging. We talked about that. You're starting to see more individual snacks in maybe a bulk box where you can get more individuals and just pull them out and take them with you.
Oh, absolutely. The company Nabisco is focusing on adding multi-packs to the boxes where you can see here where these have 2-count Oreos where you can throw into your lunch box or just throw into your bag and take on a trip for a picnic or something like that. They're 2-count, so it's a little bit better for your kids versus some of the larger packs we might have. So it kind of gives you the choice on whether or not you want to have 6 cookies or 2 cookies, or it depends how hungry you actually are.
When it comes to the snacking, because again, it used to be 3 meals a day, now it's 5 to 6 meals a day. What's one of the things that's just going off store shelves it's so hard to keep up with?
Well, one of the things that we have done is we've looked globally, and a couple products that we have brought into the United States are things like Belvita. And this continues to grow every year. And actually over in Europe, there's a lot more of product types out there. We're coming out with a sandwich product with Belvita. We have bites, the little cookies, and it continues to grow. It's a great product. It gives you sustained energy. But this is something that we got from Europe, and it continues to fly. And this is an example of eating in the morning, right? You don't know what to do. You're ready to run out of the house. You grab some coffee. You grab a package of Belvita, and it's a great way to start your day, and actually all morning. And surprisingly, people actually eat it in the afternoon also. So it's got a broad appeal across all the day parts that we see.
I will confess, this is one of my weaknesses. I eat it all the time. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing all this useful information. He was also kind enough to bring us a basket for a giveaway. So you're going to watch our Facebook page. You'll want to, so go like it to see how maybe you could win a basket of goodies. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
We're so excited today to be with Ree Drummond, the Pioneer Woman. And first of all, thank you for taking a moment to speak with us. But I want to talk to you about your cookbooks because you have a new one coming out.
I do, October 20th. I'm real excited about it.
And what's the focus in that cookbook for our viewers?
The title of the cookbook is Dinner Time. This is my 4th cookbook, and I was thinking, when I think of a cookbook that I want to reach for, I just really need something that I'm going to use that night to cook dinner with. That's kind of the home cook struggle, is what am I going to make for dinner tonight? So that's what the cookbook's all about.
And I think that's one of the things that works for your fans is the relatability, because I can't cook and you make it easy. How important is that for you when you go into the process of, I've got to write this so people can actually use it?
Well, I'm not a chef. I mean, I have a cooking show, but I'm not a professionally trained chef. I'm a home-trained cook. I cook for my husband and my kids. And so I've always done my blog and cookbooks and every cooking thing I've done from that perspective because, most people in America are home cooks. So I think that's probably what makes people relate to the recipes a little bit more is that they are real recipes with real ingredients.
Oh, they're wonderful. And then real quick, tell me what it's like to work with Walmart.
It's been a dream. I mean, it has been really, truly fulfilling, creative, a very exciting process, and I couldn't have asked for a better partner. I love them.
Thank you so much for taking a moment to speak with us. We'll be back right after this break.
Thank you.
Today we have Rick Pensa from CPG Toolbox with us. Welcome, Rick.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to have you here today. So tell me a little bit, when a supplier spends trade dollars with Walmart, they have to plan for it differently than they would with other retailers. Right. Tell me about how they do it with other retailers.
Yeah, so other retailers probably are mostly high-low, or there's some variation of an EDLP or EDLC concept. Of course, Walmart is purely EDLC.
And they've made that very clear, haven't they?
Oh, yes, absolutely. But other manufacturers in general will put together an accrual fund. So these accrual funds might be 18%, 20%, 25%, whatever it might be, which are funds that accrue across every shipment that comes into the or goes through the order entry system.
Funds for TPRs, temporary price reductions. They might be for ads within those retailers. They could be for coupons. A number of different ways in which they promote their products. End caps and displays. Maybe they pay for those.
Right, and pretty much anything that's a spending opportunity. So it could be some sort of retail execution. It could be, as you said, feature, display, or TPRs, temporary price reductions. So those are the funds that are then spent against those events, and those events have to be basically planned out. So, for example, if you manage a typical high-low account, you're going to have an objective that's probably going to be about 30 or 40% above what the base volume is. Right. So the objective is to take the funds that are associated with that account and then drive it to your...
And try to get the numbers that you want to get to it. Okay.
That way you keep your job and you make your number and you make your bonus.
Exactly. So suppliers that do this right now, typically are putting it on an Excel spreadsheet of some sort or another and trying to figure all these things out. What type of solution does CPG have?
That's an interesting factoid. Do you know that 75% of CPG manufacturers track their trade spending on a spreadsheet? And more than that, the average CPG company spends between 15 and 25% of their total gross revenue on trade spending. And so you're tracking billions of dollars across the industry. 75% of it's tracked in a spreadsheet. Our tool gives you the ability to track in an easy manner. It's built on the Salesforce.com platform, so it's built on Salesforce, meaning it's for Salesforce. And we are out of the CPG industry, so we understand the industry. I myself have been in the industry over 40 years. So we know this industry, and we've taken a platform that's very ubiquitous. It's a cloud-based tool, Salesforce is. And so we've built our tool on that cloud-based platform that tracks your trade spending, your trade funding rather, and your trade spending against promotions, which also drives forecasting, and then we track the settlements or deductions on the back end.
So Walmart's different, right? Walmart, EDLP, EDLC, that goes down that whole path.
Right.
We're going to have you back, and we're going to talk about Walmart and what that difference is.
Great, thank you.
All right.
Buyers meeting tomorrow, 9 a.m. Time for a miracle. Time for rapid prototypes. Emergency packaging services means shelf-ready packaging and displays, printing to almost any material beyond photo quality. Short-run production for sales samples or store tests. Need it all? Customize your look with our structural, graphical, and 3D design. Need a miracle? Rapid Prototypes. Rapid-prototypes.com or 479-273-FAST.
Retail Solutions is the market leader helping advance reporting and analytics with Walmart suppliers around the globe. We manage the data for you, automate data integration, attribution, and reports, and then help you focus on activities that will drive the most value. To do this, RSI works with you to perform a business value assessment to identify the largest value opportunities in your business. If improving results in sales through better insights and execution and efficiencies are important to you, contact RSI today.
Digital World Productions is a professional audio, visual, data installer specializing in conference room media solutions. Call us at 479-289-8870 to move your boardroom from presentation to collaboration.
Bentonville Plaza, across the street from the Walmart home office. The best office location offers proximity and services like no other business complex in the area. Call 479-200-1112 today.
Welcome to Retail Edge. This week, we're fortunate enough to have Jesse Core. He's one of the really leading experts in microbreweries, kind of a pioneer in the whole microbrewing movement. Jesse, thanks for coming in.
I'm excited to be here. This is a lot of fun. I appreciate the invite.
Give us a little bit of your background and what you're doing at Core Brewing.
We're now in our 5th year, and we're the #1 brewery in the state. We're rapidly growing, well over 100% per year. So we're trying to manage that, and our biggest challenge is fulfilling demand.
How'd you get into it? How'd you get into the whole?
When I went to school, originally before software, I went to school for microbiology, and that's where I learned how to homebrew, and that was over 20 years ago.
So it's really as much science as art, right?
Oh, it's biochemistry at its finest. I'm definitely a beer nerd.
You know, from a supplier standpoint, these high-value artisan segments are really interesting. Why is craft beer such a great place to be right now?
You see the whole trend in the industry. Maybe it's the millennials pushing it, but we're starting to see a trend toward higher quality, less fluff, more sustenance, and I mean the proof's in the pudding. We're seeing
better taste.
Better taste in all things, from food to beer to whatever, and that's why you're starting to see the industry grow 18% per year.
And it seems like any kind of product that's got a great brand story tends to do better. And I know you've got a story behind the brand at Core Brewing. I'd be interested in hearing more about that. I think suppliers would love to know.
Yeah. Well, this is Barney. I had Barney. My mother gave him to me as a consolation for losing the state football championship in high school, and I had him for 19 years. Right. So, you know, the Wiener dog is a fun brand.
Sure.
A lot of people are very passionate about their dogs.
Sure.
And so it was just a fun brand for us, and we just have a lot of fun with it.
No, that's great. And I think that the key is, if you've got a brand and there's a story behind it, people can relate to it, there's brand association and whatnot. You know, what sort of advice would you give to food and beverage, artisan, craft, other people in that community that are looking to launch into retail distribution?
I get that question a lot, and what I tell, especially on our side of the industry, is invest in quality. Make sure when you're properly capitalized to give yourself a chance. It's a very capital-intensive business, but make sure you allocate enough of that toward your quality program, because quality is what's going to drive your growth.
Well, we love what you're doing. Beer is good food after all. I think everybody will enjoy the craft beer that you make. Thanks very much for coming in. We come back in the future and talk about your progress?
Anytime. I love to. Let's make sure we allocate an hour next time.
That sounds great.
Welcome back, everyone. With us today, Edie Friar from Forester Farmers Market. Thank you so much for coming today.
Well, thank you. I'm really looking forward to this.
We are too. Okay, so let's just jump right in. We were talking about trends in food, and of course that brings us to poultry while we've got you here. And one of the things that you're seeing is the younger generation eating more and more chicken.
Yeah, if you look at per capita consumption of chicken, people that are under the age of 40 consume disproportionately more than people that are over the age of 40. And that's really exciting if you're in the chicken business, because what it means is we have a built-in growth in demand over the next 2 or 3 generations, maybe the next 3 or 4 generations, who knows.
Which is wonderful for you. But I also want to talk about, in that generation, they're wanting a lot of things left out of their poultry.
Yes, people are becoming more and more interested in free food. Not free in terms of price, we can't give it away, nobody does, but free in terms of additives. No antibiotics, no animal byproducts, no hormones, no steroids, things like that.
How much harder does that make it on farmers to raise their chickens?
It means that your animal husbandry on the farm has to be better than the typical farmer. And the reason for that is most chicken companies will feed sub-therapeutic levels of antibiotics to their chickens. And that kind of gives them a little bit of boost. The one thing it really does do is it increases their rate of growth. So their feed efficiency is a little bit better. It gives those companies a cost advantage. If you don't use any antibiotics at all, then your animal husbandry has to be that much better, because you have to make up for that little extra boost that some of the chickens get from those subtherapeutic levels.
Now, you and I are talking, and I know what you mean when you say your husbandry, but there are people at home that may be like, what's he referencing? Can you explain that a little bit more?
It's just how you take care of your chickens, how much you care for your chickens. Are you there checking them all the time? If it's really cold outside, are you making sure that your heaters are set the way they should be? If it's really warm, if it's really hot in the summertime, is your ventilation system working? It's just everything day in and day out that goes into taking care of those birds.
How important is it on your packaging for people to see right in front, antibiotic free? How much of a role does that play?
That plays a big role in some of the consumer testing that we've done. Antibiotic free comes out not always on top, but it's one of the top call outs that people are looking for. So it is our leading call out that we have.
Part of that is millennials really driving, wanting to be healthier, and consumers really showing you what they want, and you're seeing it as a result. What do you think is the next thing for your industry?
I think non-GMO free or non-GMO is going to be the next big thing. A lot of consumers are concerned about the genetically modified organisms and what may or may not be in there. And we're actually moving in that direction now as a company. I think next year, close to 20% of our production will be non-GMO.
Is that a hard transition?
It's not a hard transition, but it's more of a challenge because we have to contract directly with the farmers that grow the corn and the soybeans for non-GMO. About 95% of the corn and soybeans in the U.S. are genetically modified. So it's just a very small group that are non-GMO at this point. So we have to contract with them. Then you have to make sure that nowhere through the system does that corn or those soybeans intermingled with genetically modified corn and soybeans.
What is the thing that you are most proud of with your company that you're doing when it comes to your poultry?
Well, I think I'm most proud of our people. We have a great leadership team, and there's about, if you have an opportunity, there's about 1,400 of the finest people you'd ever like to meet in your life that work for Forester Farmers Market.
That value quality?
Yes.
And want to make sure they're taking care of their consumer.
Our mission statement is, our mission is to provide our customers better value, our employees better opportunities, and our investors better returns. And providing our customers better value is extremely important, and I think almost all of our employees have bought into that.
Thank you so much for your time. A pleasure meeting you today.
Well, thank you. This has been a pleasure. Yes.
We'll be right back.
For investors that are nearing retirement, the rule of 100 illustrates that you may need to reduce your risk and protect your nest egg. As you make these adjustments, do you think it's possible to make money in any market? Curious? Call Mach 1 Financial today for clarity regarding your retirement.
GigWalk is transforming how work gets done. As the leading mobile workforce management platform, GigWalk provides companies with mobile tools and a data-driven approach to improving business efficiency. Leading brands and retailers use GigWalk to manage their field teams and to mobilize 750,000 GigWalkers to collect data intelligence about their business and brands. Are the shelves stocked? Are my products priced competitively? Are the correct promotions in place? Visit us at gigwalk.com to learn more. GigWalk, make work better.
At IRI, we bring together the richest sales, consumer, media, and social data to ignite growth for suppliers and retailers around the world. Contact us to learn more. IRI is growth delivered.
With weekly coverage at Walmart and a customized end-to-end approach to retail, it's easy to see why brands like Google, Samsung, Procter & Gamble, and Kellogg's choose premium retail services. Results are in store. The training bundle gets suppliers up to speed fast. You immediately pick up the knowledge you need and you save $750 or more over classes bought one at a time. Each training bundle includes 3 retail link classes, beginning, intermediate, and advanced. 4 electives such as planning and forecasting, Monday morning reports, and business line review. And 6 hours of one-on-one tutoring with an expert. Call 8th and Walton today to learn more about the training bundle, 479-715-6700, and ask for Amanda. Limited time offer.
Hi, this is Matt Davis with Collective Bias. Did you know 43% of consumers use social to plan meals? In fact, 52% have used Pinterest in store to research ingredients for a recipe. Food brands have a tremendous opportunity to maximize their existing shopper marketing spends using social. One example of note is Tyson Chicken Nuggets. We did a holiday campaign for Tyson called Why Should Cookies Have All the Fun that featured decorating of the chicken nuggets, and it was around a demo event which tied to in-store. So we had influencers create content before, during, and after the event featuring decorating the chicken nuggets in a very festive way, which created very shareable content. This is Matt Davis with Collective Bias. We'll see you soon.
That does it for this week's show. Be sure you join us next time as we take a closer look at the health and beauty category.
Our guests enjoy staying at the 21C Museum Hotel and hosting dinner, meetings, and product lunches there.
To record this show, set your DVR to Focus on Suppliers, Sundays at 5 a.m. on KNWA.